for
Go
it.
with the flow.
That's it? Okay, here we go. Please state your name, title, and company affiliation.
My name is Dana Zhang. I recently graduated from Vanderbilt University with my PhD and also master's in computer science. I am currently working at Vanderbilt Medical Center as a research fellow.
Cool. That's awesome. Can you talk a little bit about your background in blockchain and healthcare and how you've gotten to where you are today?
Sure. So a lot of my dissertation work was actually focusing on healthcare data sharing challenges, and we were using blockchain technology to see if we could address some of the traditionally centralized models issues. And I've also interned at various industry companies like Varia Medical Systems. They're in Palo Alto, California. I've also interned at a Nashville local startup company called the Center for Medical Interoperability. And both companies have concrete use cases that are beneficial for using blockchain technology to resolve, and that's why we wanted to really understand this technology and see how it really has the potential to sort of revolutionize the healthcare industry.
Can you talk a little bit about what you're working on now and just kind of elaborate on that?
Mm-hmm. So we have created a research prototype called FireChain, Fire as in the HL7 draft standard Fire. And basically, it's similar to a decentralized OAuth model where data sources can actually provide a temporary data sharing token to a data receiver who then has access to the data coming from the data source, with the data or the data still being owned by the original data source, so that they have a little bit confidence on where their data is going. However, since the data token is temporary, it's very after the time period allowed to access the data expires, the data receiver will no longer receive the data. So that kind of protects the data from being leaked out to other parties. And another research project that was really exciting that I worked on was with the Center for Medical Interoperability. So we were trying to look at blockchain-based solutions to sort of create a model for patient identity in the healthcare space, because right now there's a lot of patient mismatching problems in EHR data, and also a lot of the times that creates problems for example, the opioid overdose issue that's currently plaguing the nation. We're trying to see if there's a really good model that is unique, that is not as variable as your social security number, your name and date of birth, that core set of information that's currently being used. We feel like with the decentralized model, we're able to sort of really plug into these mathematical solid proofs of why these identities, these sort of the decentralized identities are strong enough and also unique enough to be used as patient identifiers. So those are two of the major projects that I'd say are more exciting.
Awesome. Can you talk a little bit about what you see as some pressing issues that need to be solved in blockchain and healthcare?
I think a lot of the issues that people are facing right now have to do with where the data is being stored. Because right now, data is obviously stored in local data silos within the healthcare organizations. However, when the blockchain first came out, I think people really wanted to explore the option of storing the data all in the same decentralized environment, which isn't practical and is not secure. So I think the problem with the current, as we've sort of evolved over in the understanding of blockchain technology itself, we begin to realize, how it's impractical to store all of the data in one decentralized environment. But blockchain is known to be not very scalable, and also could be very slow in, data being transacted, and also data being exchanged, and also just in general not very scalable. So I think those are some of the challenges that we need to look into, especially when we're dealing with healthcare data, where we have a huge number of data records and then very sensitive information to be protected.
Where do you where do you think blockchain technology is in terms of maturity today?
To be honest, blockchain technology still has a lot of room to grow, even though a lot of exciting startup companies have come into place to have really excelling models for using the blockchain technology. There's still like issues with confidentiality that needs to be resolved, and also looking at data privacy, where that really fits into the scope of this decentralized environment, would be challenges that still need to be researched on.
When you start looking into 2019 and beyond, what excites you about blockchain in healthcare?
I think what really excites me is that, first of all, recently the 21st Century Cures Act has come into place, so where it allows patients to freely access their data, using this sort of regulation protection. So like Apple's iOS has actually come out with this health kit tool where patients can basically obtain all of their medical records all in one place. I think that's like that's a really exciting model where we can probably try to leverage using blockchain technology to see if we can play with some of the APIs that they give out, and also maybe look at what we can do with the data in a more decentralized consortium. And I think it's really exciting as patients start to realize that they are the true owners of their data, and then they also want to take advantage of their data ownership. I think as this model grows, we can definitely incentivize patients to sort of, from a research perspective, share their data with other researchers and or patients to sort of obtain a better cohort for the clinical research studies as well.
Do you have any kind of in conclusion thoughts or comments that you'd like to leave people with?
I think I would say that it's really important for people to, especially like blockchain technologists, to really understand the conditions and also the current standpoint from the healthcare perspective as well. Because as technologists, sometimes we're very idealistic about if you just give us some kind of inputs that in the exact right format as we desire, we could probably make everything work. In healthcare, that is really not the case. In healthcare, data is really messy. It's structured in very different ways. Sometimes it's unstructured, and sometimes it's very, the standardization isn't really in place right now. So I think it's important for, blockchain technologists to really understand those concepts and collaborate with, these interdisciplinary teams in order to really come up with blockchain technology or blockchain technology based solutions that are useful for these actual use cases. And I also, wanted to say that we also want to try to leverage different types of technologies like machine learning and or other types of artificial intelligence to see if they can also plug in a role into the larger space of research in healthcare.
Awesome. I'm good if you are.
Was that good?
It was perfect.
Okay.
Anything else you want to add or no?
No.
Cool. That's perfect.
I think
then.
I sort of